Hey guys, we are here today looking at Final Fantasy. We got the new Final Fantasy 16 coming out. We've been fans forever of Final Fantasy, so we just thought, some characters are better than others.
Yeah, so we decided we'd check out this tier list here. Yeah, it's been a while since I played a lot of these.
Let's start.
The first one, the Warrior of Light. In the original NES version, there were just 4 Warriors of Light, and you could choose their class.
Yeah, I played this a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of familiar.
So Square made it so there was only one protagonist, so they could say that the Warrior of Light, basically he's the fighter, the red-haired dude, the knight.
Yeah, yep.
And so as a protagonist who's basically has no story whatsoever because it's Final Fantasy 1, I would say he's
pretty damn average.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fighter. He's overpowered as heck, but as a character, he's just a book without pages, basically.
Let's vote. I give him an E. What do you give him?
E.
Okay.
Well, let's go with E. F's like, he doesn't suck. He just has no character.
I couldn't say anyone sucks unless they just annoyed the hell out of me, so.
All right, next, Furion, Final Fantasy II, the Japanese.
Yes, this, I've only seen some things on, I've never played it, so I've seen some things,
I played it, Final Fantasy Origins on the PlayStation.
Okay.
It didn't come out, I don't know if it came out in the US until that point.
Yeah.
Furion, Final Fantasy II was much better in regards to story. Characters were still kind of cardboard cutouts, cookie cutter, but at least they had character. So Furion, I would say probably a D. I would rank him above Warrior of Light, but he's not memorable to me.
It makes sense too that they start to rank better as games improve. So
yeah,
I'm good with D too.
And Furion got better. Like, he has a character in Dissidia Final Fantasy, which came out on PSP. It's a sort of a fighting game that has all of the Final Fantasy characters, but I don't know if that counts. We're talking about the main games, so
I agree.
Okay, so D.
D.
Okay, Lunith from Final Fantasy 3 DS. You've played that, right?
I have a little, yes. And I don't remember a whole lot about it. It's been a while.
Yeah, to me, I enjoyed the game, yeah. And Lunith, the original Final Fantasy 3, they had no personality. In the DS version, they gave him some character traits.
They did, yeah. And nothing stood out with the main character to me.
Shallow's kind of the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I guess, when we're looking at a scale like this, I'd still be sitting on a D, maybe a C.
Why don't we, at first, in the tiers, it's no particular order? Or are we going...
Well, it sounds like everybody kind of ranks them in order on the tier list, so we should probably do that too.
Yeah, I would put Lunith above Furion at least.
Yes, I agree.
So, I would put him in D, above Furion.
Above Furion.
Cecil. Now, this guy...
Man, he's high to me. I really liked him.
You played the DS version?
Was it on DS? I played an updated version.
It was a 3D version, yeah?
Yeah.
That was the DS version.
Yeah.
Or mobile phones now.
And, you can still tell it's an old game, but I really did enjoy that game.
Yeah, and I liked Cecil. I mean, again, he wasn't the deepest person there in the world, but back then, with Final Fantasy IV, that story was pretty great back in the day.
Is it Cecil or Cecil?
I think it goes either way. I think it might actually be...
Cecil's a name.
I think they actually pronounce it now as Cecil.
Interesting.
But, I think I called him Cecil back in the day. But yeah, Final Fantasy IV is one of my favorites. Got a lot of nostalgia for it, and Cecil's pretty far up there to me.
Yeah.
I played on Super NES and DS, so.
And he was a beautifully constructed character. Still lacking some story because it's still an older game.
1991, I think.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
You know those dates pretty well though, so I'll take you at your word.
He's not the best character, but he's definitely up there. So in my personal opinion, A sounds good for this guy.
Yeah, I was leaning A to B, so I'll go with A on you.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Next one's Furion. He is from Final Fantasy V.
Not familiar at all in this one. Yeah. What do you know?
Final Fantasy V took a backseat in the story-wise, but they did implement the job system, which is pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did know a little about that.
Yeah. So Furion, he's okay for what he is, or not Furion. Duh. Bart's my mistake. Bart's is his name. Bart. Okay. They look so similar.
I don't know the name.
They look so similar on here, it's hard to tell the difference, but...
Hey, you're doing great just remembering all the names.
Right, Bart's my mistake. He fills the protagonist role, but I wouldn't put him above Cecil by any means.
No, definitely not. You have to be the judge of this one?
He was good, but nothing that really stands out. What stood out in that game was the job system. I would put Bart's, I think I'd put him as a C.
That's where I was thinking you'd go.
Yeah. Now the next one, Hera.
Ooh. I have to say that this is probably ultimately my favorite Final Fantasy. It's hard to rank it for myself less than an S.
Yeah.
She had an awesome story. She's an awesome character. I mean, she was one of a couple kind of main characters, but she's definitely an S to me. How about you?
Yeah, I think so, because I mean, a lot of the characters were great in that game. But you know, we're talking about main characters, and I don't think she was bad in any really regard.
She had personality too. Good game.
Yeah, I like her. So I
you
agree.
Okay with the S?
Yeah, I agree. S sounds
top of the A, but
Final Fantasy VI was like one of the first games where they really got to story down, you know, and the music and pretty much everything else. All right, next one, Cloud, Final Fantasy VII.
Now we're kind of in my era, so I kind of like these ones the most. On the other hand, Cloud was pretty quiet, and he was kind of a dickwad.
He was a dick.
You know, like
at first.
Hey, why don't you help us? Oh, I just don't know if I can. I hate you all and stuff.
He wasn't like that. He was kind of, but he was like, you know, what was it? Not interested. You know?
Yeah, he just didn't bring a whole lot of personality for me. It was a great game. It's probably my second favorite.
Cloud to me though, like he towards the like the latter part of the game, he really started to open up though. And then when the reveal happens, you know, and he's like sort of gets his faculties together, he's like a whole new kind of person.
Yeah,
you know?
And there is some good interpersonal stories with the main antagonist.
And Cloud is much more relatable later on. It's just like games like Advent Children and Dissidia painted him just sort of like quiet, like
that's true.
Everybody
that's
type
true.
Deal.
But you're right. He had development and growth.
And in the remake, you know, he was started to get more open towards the end of that game as well.
So was he an A or an S?
That's a tough one.
He's either top of the A or bottom of the S for me.
Yeah, I like Cloud.
Give him the S.
That's a tough one for me.
Okay, top of the A then. We got to be critical, right?
Let's
We can adjust it if we need.
You know what? S.
Okay.
For after playing remake, I believe he's S tier because he's gonna get better in the future games.
Yeah, and you played remake. Yeah. Number 8, Squall, which. Let me start by saying I never called him that. I changed his name.
Yeah.
Your fault.
I changed his name too, actually.
You started it for me. Yeah. I only knew him as Locke or something.
Yeah. Did you change his name to Locke?
After I thought he was named Locke the whole time. Jerk.
Yeah, I did name him Locke. I don't know. It just sounded better to me.
It did. It kind of fit his knife, his gun knife, or whatever it is. Silly. Also a freaking brooder, and I hate that in games. But now that there's new games with even deeper brooders, I don't feel so bad about him.
Yeah.
So, but great game for me. So I
did
still
enjoy
loved his character. You know, story with him though, I couldn't go above an A.
Squall, like I didn't like the brooding that much. To me, at least at first, it felt more like they were just trying to copy Cloud. But I did like his inner dialogue.
He did have that.
Like, yeah, he would be thinking while they're talking, he would be thinking, oh, this is ridiculous, you know, whatever. There were some aspects of the story I wasn't all that keen on. But yeah, he did open up later, you know, that's going in and on about the love story, which was kind of like weak sauce to me. But,
it was.
But Squall himself, I mean, I like the game, the character.
To what point?
I think I would put him probably a B.
Oh, I thought you'd go A. Okay.
I mean,
good. I'm good with B. I thought you were gonna like him more than me.
I mean, I like him to an extent, but it's just like when you replay the game, it's like, dude, can we just get a little less downer?
Yep, exactly. It's where he needs to be.
All right.
Hey, so he would have been a happier dude, man. Zidane. He was like playing the game as a bear or something. Their shapes were just strange to me.
Oh, the super deformed look?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that they went back to that. I know a lot of people do. It's just, to me, super deformed worked in 2D because they wanted people to see their faces.
Right.
And smaller sprites, you know, it was just how they bring detail to the character. Whereas in 3D, it just looks like someone's a giant headed bobblehead.
Yeah, and so why? I mean, sure, make them look cute, but why deform them?
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's not my thing. I thought Zidane was okay. He was kind of like a womanizer, you know, type, you know. He was basically the opposite of Squall. He had energy.
Zane.
Sort of a woman. What?
Who's Zane?
Zidane.
Oh, I thought you said Zane.
I thought Zidane was okay. I thought Zidane.
No.
Okay.
He's the opposite of Squall, pretty much. You know,
Almost
overall,
a little too cheery.
maybe.
Pretty average.
Maybe. He was nothing to really write home about, though, in my opinion.
I never beat the game. I think I got maybe a third or half of the way through. So I don't know his full personality, but
Yeah.
he's
a more likable character than Squall. It's just, I didn't really play 9 that much. I did beat it, but I never replayed it.
But even then, being more likable, less personality though, right? Than Squall? What do you think?
No, he had personality.
Something you can connect to and like?
You could, yeah.
Well, I'll give him B if you feel. Or do you think he's better than B?
No, I don't think he's better than B, no. Like, just going by characters, not game. I would probably put Zidane above Squall.
I agree.
Okay, Titus.
Titus.
Titus. I called him Titus until, apparently it turned out to be Titus.
Whatevs.
But I don't understand why. Why not Titus?
Yeah, it's better than Eats.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Insert laughing scene here because that's just obligatory.
Of course. Let's see what a psycho looks like for real in a video game. Not one of the first games to really implement a whole lot of voice acting, on the other hand. Kind of a linear game, helped provide story for the guy, but I don't know. I mean, I played the whole game. I loved the game. The character,
I like the character. I think he was basically a fish out of water character, and that really worked for the story.
I guess you're right.
You could say things about his voice acting, could be better or different or whatever, and that's fine. And the laughing scene, might as well just say that now, that was intentional.
Yes.
It was obviously wasn't him just being a really crappy laugher. It was just simply forcing
doing
the
it
laughter
to be funny.
Yes. So.
And I like the story with him searching for his father, and that whole piece was interesting. Kind of got weird with the whole sin thing at the end for me.
Yeah.
So it kind of stung a little in the story with his personality. I can't quite connect to him in that way I'd like to. I really think I couldn't give him better than Squall.
Yeah.
He's got more story though, so maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, basically, it's hard for me to really describe. He's basically the main character, and just learning about everything.
Like they all are. Yes.
You know what I mean. Yeah. Some games the main character is barely there. Vaughn, for example.
Yeah.
But Titus, what can knock him is that everything for him is a learning experience. Titus, I would put probably. What do you think?
Above Squall.
Yeah.
But you can give a little sway there. I'm good with an A at the end.
I made him. I thought he was more memorable than Zon. So
okay, good enough.
Maybe it's voice acting. I don't know. So I'll put.
He is more memorable. You're right.
Yes, he is memorable.
Blah 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 blah.
Okay, next Vaughn. Final Fantasy 12.
Oh, Vaughn.
So Vaughn. I think most people know by now Vaughn was. I guess he wasn't supposed to be the main character at first, and they changed it to attract the younger audience. I didn't like all that much. He was just kind of boring to me.
He's a side character.
Kinda. He's the main character, but he's not really a main character because the story doesn't really evolve around him, and most of the characters don't really revolve around him.
And let's face it, he's a weakened Titus. He looks like him, and he's got less story.
He does look kind of like him a little bit.
It's like a younger version. Is this a prequel?
Yeah, right. So me, I played as Ash for the most part, or Bosch, when I'm like wandering around, and I really didn't even like that I had to control him in towns. But yeah. So I thought he was a pretty weak stuff.
So he's really far down the list then. Yeah,
I mean, honestly,
you're more familiar with this character than I.
He seems like he's almost on par with like Furion or Lunith or maybe Warrior of Light.
You're probably right, though. He's probably the end of D, don't you think?
I don't know. I don't know if he'd be the end of D, but he's definitely in D, in my opinion.
Give him the D.
All right.
Put him at the front. Yeah, he's got story at least.
Yeah. All right, next, Lightning.
I guess you know more about her than I. I've had little experience with her, but from what I do know, she's kind of kick-ass. I love any game movie with rebels, Yeah.
I like her. She kind of has that whole female Cloud thing going on.
Does she?
Yeah, I mean, she gets better, but at first she's kind of like in bitch mode. She kind of treats some of the other characters like she doesn't have any patience for them at all. I guess there's a reason for it because
What's her backstory?
Well, Snow's kind of annoying on that, so you can kind of imagine that. Basically, she's all about her sister at first. Well, throughout the whole thing, it's really about her sister, and she's focused on that. So
I see. Yeah.
but yeah, so I mean, in that regard, she can be kind of annoying at first, but she gets better. She goes, and I think I like her. So
Does she have a good comeback story by the end of the game?
comeback story, like
Yeah, like she had that redemption, fixed her problems.
I think so a little bit. Yeah,
Something you could connect
yeah.
with.
She grows. Yeah, she apologizes for her behavior earlier in the game. So
Something, yeah.
yeah, she does grow for sure.
So is she ahead or behind a Squall?
I mean, I like Squall's the issue,
For
but
brooding,
but I think I like Squall, but I would put Lightning above.
You would, okay.
So yeah,
I agree with you.
I would put her in B, probably above Zidane.
Front of B?
Yeah, I know a lot of people love Final Fantasy IX and Zidane.
Hey, this is about what we like.
Yeah, well, Final Fantasy IX to me is, it was like, oh, we're back to the crystals, but I found it so forgettable.
It was kind of, I found it a little boring. That's why I couldn't get through it. So
Yeah, so, all right.
Okay,
What do you think, B?
Lightning is a B.
All right. Why?
Sounds like it's a bad thing, a B film.
It doesn't really want me to
There you
switch.
go.
Okay. So Final Fantasy X-2, are we counting that? We're going through main.
We're gonna
ones,
go
right?
through main. Let's
just-
not do that.
I like Sarah. She was decent. But okay. Final Fantasy 15.
So
Nox.
Octo, Noctagon,
Octaman. Octamom. Noctis.
another big brooder. What's with Final Fantasies and brooders?
He wasn't really a big brooder, though.
No,
No, not really. I mean, he had some issues, of course. I mean, after a certain event, he became a little bit of a brooder. And then his buddies kind of knocked him out of it.
Oh, okay.
He's actually, yeah, he's always bantering with the
He
party
just
members.
dresses like a brooder.
Oh, and that's why you assume he's a golf brooder.
Sometimes you are what you look like.
Like, oh, life is pain. I like coffee or whatever. I'm going off of South Park. He was not a brooder.
So what is he?
He's just a normal.
A?
He's just
Or
a
B
normal
or
guy
C?
who's
No,
a
not
prince.
I'm talking by by letters.
I know. I liked his character. I thought he was good. I mean, he didn't really stand out like to me for like Cecil did or Cloud, but yeah, I don't know. I think I like Squall more than him though.
Put him down.
Yeah. So yeah, and the rest of these are side games. You got Tactics, Brave Exvius there, Crisis Core. I played Tactics and Brave Exvius. I played most of these actually, but I didn't play Type 0, Crisis Core, or the Vincent one. So
Hey, Vincent, though, he's freaking awesome.
yeah, as a character, but from what I heard, the game sucks.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
But 7 was a cool way of achieving him,
Yeah.
Could or couldn't.
So I mean, Rain I played Brave Exvius. I liked it. He's okay. I would probably put him like maybe there. Tactics Ramza was cool. I don't really remember him that much because I haven't played the game in years. But I mean, he was a good character. I'd probably just throw him up. I don't know.
Oh, that high? Above Squall?
Maybe. I don't know. He was good. They had like character story motivations and stuff. Screw it. Vincent, I like Vincent, but the game blew. Crisis Core, never played it. I like Zach, but never played it.
Yeah.
But Yuna, Sarah, they're cool.
Yeah, they're cool, but
Yeah. All right.
take them, leave them. That's a pretty good start to a tier.
Yeah.
Now, what do we got next? We have Final Fantasy 16
Yeah.
coming out or already out by the time this video posts. How about that? What do we know about that game? It looks, from what I see in the trailers, it looks really heavy in the summons. Or what do we call them now?
I don't know what they're called in that game.
Yeah, so it is freaking awesome looking. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. It kind of gave me the old-timey feelings of Final Fantasy.
And actually, the main character looks pretty cool too. I heard it's supposed to be more like an action-oriented, even more so than 15.
Is it?
Almost like a lot of people like to compare it to Devil May Cry, but I'm sure it's not going to be just like Devil May Cry because that's
Right,
kind of crazy for an RPG. But I'm sure it'll be more action oriented than the last one.
Yeah, and I like that they put it in medieval times again.
Yeah, it looks cool.
We got some nifty accents going around.
The voice acting reminds me of 12, and 12 had really good voice acting. So I think this will follow.
Yeah, everyone's going to have their own opinion, but tell us what you think.
And this is our opinion. So
This is our opinion.
Just an opinion.
We get to decide.
Not facts.
If you don't like it, make your own cheer.
Exactly. All right. So
Cool.
that'll be it.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you again
Yeah, we'll see you guys later.
later.